and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Monday, January.
Looking for ways to save on your energy bills? AES Indiana has you covered. From smart thermostats to home energy assessments, we offer simple solutions to keep your home comfortable and your costs down. AES can help you save money and energy with kits, tips, rebates, and more. Visit aesindiana.com/ways to save to learn more about how we can help you save money. AES Indiana, helping you discover real ways to save.
January 6th. We begin with the big story all around the state. The weather. The white stuff is still coming down this morning, and it will likely keep coming until the afternoon. Meteorologist Marcus Bailey has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
The worst of it is done in terms of the rate of snowfall, but we still have several more hours to go of snow. Okay. And I think winds are a big issue too. You mentioned me before you walked in, a lot of drifting over. Yep. It's very powdery snow, so easy for it to kind of get whipping around here a little bit. Storm tracker this morning, it is active. We called a little bit of a lull in the last several hours during the late overnight hours, now very early morning hours. That's now moved into eastern parts of Indiana. You can see some gaps here from Lafayette down to Frankfort up to Kokomo. But you're also seeing some heavier bouts of snow again. And again, it's not super heavy like we had late afternoon and through the evening hours yesterday. But, I mean, you could be talking a half an inch to an inch per hour. So that could, again, still add up a little bit here. We're on the back end of this system. So this is the last hurrah. Once what we see in Illinois clears our state, which it will eventually later on today, we're done with snow for a little while, okay? In terms of the storm alerts and why we still have the weather alert, it is a winter storm warning continuing through the early evening hours across much of our state. 21 degrees northeast wind at 18. We've seen gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. So not only has it been snowing, but it's bitter cold. Wind chills are down into the single digits this morning. We've been as low as 4 degrees. So we do have a little bit of improvement. There's your current gust, 28, but we've seen it maxing at around 40. I think that may still be an issue for the next several hours. In terms of snowfall, bank on it between now and mid-afternoon. I think that's our window here. We got about a 9-hour window of light to, at times, moderate snow. I think here in the metro area, a trace to as high as an inch, an additional inch. I don't think we see more than that to add on to as we go into the mid-afternoon hours, but certainly will be enough to kind of keep things slick. Mid and upper 20s this afternoon, chills into the teens later on today. Coming up, we're going to talk about the snow moving on out. It will allow a rush of bitter cold temperatures through the midweek, and believe it or not, we're talking about another snow event potentially in the 7-day forecast. We'll have the latest coming up.
To get a peek at Marcus Bailey's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com. And don't forget, conditions will change throughout the day. So to make sure you have the most up-to-date forecast, download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And for a more detailed look at conditions, you can check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. And with those winter weather conditions, we have a Storm Track 8 crew outside taking a look at conditions in downtown Indianapolis. News 8's Colin Bailey reports.
Yeah, we're at Meridian and St. Clair right now. Within the last, I would say, handful of minutes, the snow has picked back up again. And within the last, I would say, 40 minutes, this is Meridian, that memo is showing you right now. Snowplows have been up and down Meridian, clearing this off consistently since we've been out here. But St. Clair, a different story. Where this truck is right here, he's going to go straight about right before we came on air, a handful before that interview with Chief Pruitt, one of those cars fishtailed going westbound on St. Clair. So the main thoroughfare, we're seeing travel move fairly smooth. With these side streets, we've seen it. We've had a hard time as well. Some of these streets just aren't plowed yet since they're on the main thoroughfares. But I'm going to pick up some of the snow and show you kind of what we're looking at. It's not that good kind of packing snow that you're used to, you know, making snowballs out of or forts with the kids. It's more of a lighter, fluffier snow, as you can see here, as it's kind of breaking up very easily on me. But we'll be out here all morning long in downtown as this car kind of just spun out a little as he goes straight on St. Clair. Not having a hard time though, but those with the front wheel drive and rear wheel drive are kind of spinning out, we've noticed. But this main thoroughfare of Meridian, we're seeing smooth as can be. But on my way into work, I also saw a couple cars that had front-wheel drive kind of spinning out on some of the roadways as well. But Meridian, been clear since we've been out here. Snowplows have been up and down this main thoroughfare. So if you're gonna come out, make sure you're safe and make sure you know kind of what you're dealing with, because we've been on the roadways all morning. We'll be downtown as well, checking out the roadways to make sure how they all are, the side streets, the main thoroughfares and all that. And so we'll be out here all morning long in downtown, bringing you what you need to know about these roadways as you head into work potentially today. But for now, in downtown Indianapolis, I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
With the snow and cold, doctors say there is a higher chance of hypothermia and frostbite if you go outside. Health officials say signs of frostbite include numbness and white or grayish skin. Signs of hypothermia include shivering, exhaustion, confusion, and memory loss. For both, doctors say it is important to get into a warm room right away once you start to notice those symptoms, especially in the case of children.
So if you're worried that your child has hypothermia, that is a true emergency and they need help. But while you're waiting for help to arrive, move them to a warm area and get them out of any damp or wet clothing, get them into warm clothing.
If you do not have a warm place to stay, there are warming centers across Indianapolis. All you have to do is call 211 to find the closest one to you. Well, snow on the ground doesn't just bring risk like hypothermia and frostbite. It also means a higher chance of car accidents. Here are some tips on driving safely in snow and ice. First, and most importantly, slow down. Next, make sure to increase your following distance. That way, there is plenty of time to stop for the car in front of you. You can find additional tips on our website, wishtv.com. In Washington, Congress is set to convene today to certify the presidential election results. Things are expected to be a far cry from 4 years ago when rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol to try to prevent Donald Trump's loss to Joe Biden from being certified. President-elect Trump will be certified the winner of the election by current Vice President Kamala Harris, the very person he defeated in the presidential election. Yesterday, President Joe Biden reflected on the events of January 6, 2021, saying what happened 4 years ago should never happen again. Biden also says he is hopeful the country is beyond that and that this year's transition goes smoothly. We wrap things up with sports. The Colts closed the season with a victory. Matt Gay's 38-yard field goal in overtime gave the Colts the lead over the Jaguars. The defense then held firm as the Colts finished 26-23. The team goes 8-9 and ends up in second place in the AFC South. After the win, owner Jim Irsay released a statement saying he is sticking with the general manager and head coach despite the team missing the playoffs again this season. In a letter to fans, Irsay says, "I believe in Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen and our collective ability to make the improvements needed to take us to the next level in 2025. He goes on to say, "I know fans who want an immediate change in leadership will be disappointed. That means we all have a lot to prove." This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Monday, January 6th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.